Well, there was nothing I thought that could ruin my day. Then, after a Knicks win, of course, go New York, go New York, go. Of course, you have Joe Schoen. This is Tim, the New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, #1 sportsbook in America. Oh, the Knicks crushing, once again, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do I hear another sweep? Is the broom back out again? Are we going to be playing again mañana? Go New York, go New York, go. Since a fan since 83, I've told everyone a million times before, my team is the Knicks. I love the Giants. I've always been a huge Giant fan. Been following the Giants longer than I followed basketball, but 83 is when I first started following the Knicks. So, I mean, this is something special. They will win. No, we are not winning one game in Cleveland. We are winning dos games in Cleveland. Fuck Cleveland. City stinks anyways. So, got to talk about Joe Schoen. Thumbnail is the GOAT. I had another thumbnail. Joe Ferries, now that you're talking about thumbnails. And I didn't know which one to use. Because one of the things I like to do is I like to create some. I don't create all my thumbnails anymore. Someone does them for me. But I was creating them last night, so I did a little mixture of AI, a little mixture of doing a little Photoshop, and I came up with that thumbnail. But I had another thumbnail, and I like this thumbnail too. It was of course Joe Schoen, the luckiest man alive, walking under a ladder, holding a black cat on broken glass, with his lottery jackpot, because you hit the motherfucking lottery when you sit there. And you somehow still have a job after winning 4 games last year. 7 games. Let's just say it. Out of 34 games, we've won 7. We're still not sure what his draft class are going to look like because we don't know yet. Because if you keep going back into the annals of history and annals of time, you take a look at his draft classes, they're still not that good. Tyler Newman, I don't know. Phillips, I don't know. Theo Johnson, knucklehead. Tyrone Tracy, good back, not a great back. And then you have Darius Musa, shouldn't even be on the team. Deonte Banks is going to be gone, probably. JMS looks like he's going to be gone. Not this year. Jalen Hyatt's going to be gone. Eric Gray should be gone. Trey Hawkins is gone. Jordan Riley is gone. Jarvis Owens is gone. Kayvon Thibodeau will be gone next year. Evan Neal will be gone. Wandell's gone. Joshua Zuda we brought back after begging. Cordell Flott, Dane Bellinger, Dane Belton, DJ Davidson, Micah McKeithen, and Darren Beavers all gone. But this morose motherfucker somehow still has a fucking job. I didn't think there was going to be anything that was going to ruin my nickdom today. And of course, the Giants, who are known for having no huevos, because of the fact that they release the information to the media that Joe Schoen is coming back 40 minutes before the Knicks game.
You have no marbles. Marbles?
This is one of the this is one of the first things that the Giants have done wrong. You have no marbles. You wait 35, 40 minutes before tip-off of Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals in New York because you knew they weren't going to capture the back page because of the Knicks to release the news that you are bringing back your general manager who has won 7 games and out of the last 34. And if you literally take a look, and you're going off the fact that he found Jackson Dart. Oh, dear Lord! I mean, is this true that we're bringing back a guy in 4 regular season is 22-45-1, including 14-13 again? Like I said, 4-13 in 2025. Is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're going to do? And he's going to return? Do you know what the record is of the Giants? You know what? I'm going to ask a question here. This is a good question. This is a great question. I thought this was a great question because someone sent me this question. Do you know what the record is of the New York Giants in the NFC East? Does anyone know what the record is? Because I know what a record is because someone sent me the motherfucking record. And I put the needle on the record. You know what the record is for the Giants in the NFC East? Under Joe Schoen's tenure? Do you want to hear this record? 3-16-1. Giants are 3-16-1 versus the NFC East. Tim, make the thumbnail with McLovin holding up a lottery ticket with your face on it. We don't even know where McLovin went.
I am McLovin.
We don't even know. But I got to take a moment here for a second. Because I want some credit. A few months back, I even said on this show a couple times that I had heard rumors, that I heard speculation, that I heard innuendos that the Giants were going to give Joe Schoen an extension after the draft. We were the first people to talk about it. Go back and watch the video. I got someone sent me the clips. And C Rhodes something on Twitter was the first one to bring it up. And I don't even know. I need to give him credit because I forgot about it, to be honest. Perfectly honest, I forgot. Because I say a lot of things and sometimes I forget what I say. But it was, who said it? How do I get to the thing here? I got to go to profile. Then you go to notifications. It was, who was the first person to bring it up? C Rhodes Source was the first person to bring it up. And he brought it up right after it happened. And he said, of course, shout out to my guy online, Big Blue. First one to report it. And then he wrote to Mike Garafolo and all these, and Tom Paracelli. He said, online Big Blue knew it all along. We said it. I didn't believe it. And I told you people, I said, I hope I'm not right. I said, but this is just what I'm hearing. And I even thought, and I said it too, that I didn't think it was going to happen because it didn't make any fucking sense. But I kept hearing about it. And we kept hearing, over the last 2 months, we kept hearing about it. And we kept hearing more and more about it. And then all of a sudden, he signs this deal. He signs this extension. Of course, and the Giants and all their infinite wisdom, like I said, they don't want to hit the press cycle. Friday's a bad press day anyway, especially since you're going to go into with long weekend. But you release this information 40 minutes before tip-off of the Knicks game. Wow. I mean, that tells me that you just didn't want to deal with any of the fucking backlash. And then Pat Leonard was reporting at the town hall, well, there was a smattering of boos when Joe Schoen was announced. There was more than a smattering of boos. I was sitting in the third fucking row. Do I blame John Harbaugh? Same old Mara. This is what I think. That this is not a Harbaugh move. This is like, and I'm not saying this is going to be exactly like, but this kind of reminds me of, we want to hire you as the head coach of the New York Football Giants, but you have to tell us you can make Daniel Jones into a winning quarterback. Out of continuity purposes and continuity's sake, we want to see what way possible you could keep Joe Schoen, which is kind of what I was thinking when they were like saying to Harbaugh, listen, you report directly to the owner. You don't report to the general manager. And I thought that was funny. And I knew he did it in Baltimore.
That's what she said.
But it just except even going back to George Young, it just doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't happen in New York, except with George Young. So all of a sudden, Joe Schoen gets his extension. Joe Schoen gets his extension. Can I hear it now? All hail Tim. Come on, all hail Tim. Who was the first person to report this? Months ago. And I told everyone, I didn't believe it. I even said, I do not believe it, but I keep hearing it. And I even started out with the video that this is going to make people upset when I said it. That I am hearing rumblings that Joe Schoen will get an extension after the draft. I don't get it. AJ Marshall, I don't get it either. You give this guy an extension. For what reason? I mean, what was the reason and rationale? Did they even say? I'm going to make sure we get to everyone in the chat today. Did anyone give a reason and a rationale for this? And of course, Roy Robert Harris has suffered an Achilles tear. He's going to be out for the season, so you can expect the Giants to you can expect the Giants to sign another defensive lineman. I love it because Anthony Ritardo, I guess that's the kid from Giants Fireside, wrote an article. Says, I don't think Joe Schoen earned his extension, but I can live with it. Because you're a fucking idiot. I don't even want, someone sent me the article. I can't even read the article because you're so goddamn stupid and a fucking kiss ass that you can't say what you truly feel because you're afraid you're going to lose your subscribers and lose your 20 minutes of Giants fame. That was one of the dumbest articles I fucking saw. And I loved it because this was the end of the trial period, they're saying, for Joe Schoen. Because of the, John Harbaugh came out. Let's see. Can we play what John Harbaugh said? Hold on. Let's play what John Harbaugh said because we're professionals here on this show. I don't know if I can do this because I don't know if that's going to work, but let's play. No, it's not going to let me do it. It wants me to create a free account. Well, fuck you. I'm not creating a free account. Because Joe and I have been working together every day. I mean, hours on end for whether it's planning, organizing, just talking about players or watching tape over and over again on these guys. Harbaugh said when asked how the operation has gone since they've started, I feel like it's gone very well. You basically had, and not in my mind, but in a lot of other people's minds, you had your best defensive player and Dexter Lawrence say to you, I do not want to talk to Joe Schoen. I do not want to have anything to do with this current general manager. You have had this guy tell people, don't renew your lease on your apartment. He is a fucking dick. He is a pompous dick, and if you want to talk about white privilege, he is the definition of fucking white privilege. Because how else can someone who isn't successful all of a sudden gets to keep his job? Not now. Not now. What are you doing here, dummies? People are texting. I'm working, motherfuckers. Stop texting me. So how the hell do you get to keep your job? Anyone else would have been motherfucking fired and let go. And then you look at we look at his most recent drafts. I'm still gravely concerned about Abdul Carter. Darius Alexander, to me, is still a project guy that you took on third, 65th overall. Cam Scatterbu's coming off an injury. Marcus Bowe, I hope to God he works out. Thomas Fignon, for them to find out the tight end is probably going to be gone. Corey Black should be gone. And then you look at the big draft that people are like, well, this draft saved. I always love it because the 24th draft was one that initially saved Joe Schoen. Malik Neighbors. Well, if we're being honest, your 25th overall quarterback threw a hospital ball to him. Tyler Newman, terrible safety. Phillips, 76.7% completion percentage against it for his entire career. Theo Johnson, fucking knucklehead. Tyrone Tracy, second and third back at best. Darius Muasau, special teamer. So, like I said before, it takes about 3-4 years to evaluate a draft. So by that right, we go to the 23 draft. Deonte Banks, you hope to God he comes back, but it's going to be a Herculean task. JMS, undersized center, that the Giants will probably still sign because continuity purposes. Jalen Hyatt should be gone. Eric Gray will be gone. Trey Hawkins is gone. Jordan Riley's gone. Jarvis Owens is gone. So technically, the only two players that are going to be contributing on this team possibly are Banks and JMS. And we're not even going to go into the 22 draft because the 22 draft is just a shit show and a sea of diarrhea. Of course, the Giants extended his contracts. He's the only GM that will take orders from a head coach. He's basically has no responsibilities whatsoever. Anything does go wrong, it's on him. But the thing is this. Here's my thing. Here's my problem. Here's my issue. When, after the Anuka Sanders-Brown issue with the Knicks, when she sued him for sexual harassment, Knicks took a while, but they fucking cleaned house. Anyone that was part of the old regime, gone. Anyone part of the Stephon Marbury losing ways, trading for Steve Francis, all that bullshit, gone. Bye-bye. Get the stench out of the fucking building. Now, it took a while for the Knicks to make the turnaround, kind of like the Giants. But you got the stench of Isaiah Thomas out of the curtains, out of the carpet, out of the drywall. You still kept the stench of Joe Schoen because of the fact that you are probably doing it for continuity purposes. I'm going to say that again. You are probably doing it for continuity purposes. This is the first major mistake that the Giants have made since the John Harbaugh era started. This is the first true mistake they made. You're scouting under Joe Schoen, even though he's brought in his own. He will tell you, though, that first draft wasn't my guys. My guys weren't scouted in that first draft. Okay, well, you go to your second draft. You guys scouted Banks. You guys scouted JMS, Jalen Hyatt, Eric Gray, Trey Hawkins, Jordan Riley, and Owens. Your guys scouted them. And then your guys thought that an undersized linebacker who you put up, who was an off-the-ball linebacker at a 25.7 missed tackle percentage for 2 seasons as a starting off-ball linebacker at Penn State, who you shifted the last year to the defensive line, was a good pick. And then you redraft, in some people's minds, redundancies with Arvell Reese. And now people are looking at it going, Reese is the guy that we thought Abdul Carter was going to be. What the fuck are people talking about? If you're brilliant general manager, and I said this, I'm going to keep fucking saying this over and over again. I'm going to say this forever. I said there was 2 potential busts in that Abdul Carter draft at 2 and 3. That's Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. I said those are 2 guys that have busts written all over them. It's a good morning because the Knicks still won. Hope you and the kids are doing. Everyone's fine now. The wife is sick. Now Mrs. OBB is sick. Go fucking figure. I'm better. I feel a lot better. I'm getting my hair cut today. Just T-Brad. I hate Joe Schoen. Hey guys, can't stay long. Unfortunately, well, you are always missed. Joe Schoen is a great example of someone falling forward. How the fuck do you suck at your job so badly?
That's what she said.
That you literally get to keep it and then you get extended for another 2-3 years because of how much you suck. You fell into Reese. You fell into Big Francis. It wasn't like Joe Schoen is sitting there going, I'm going to make some astute moves here. Watch this. I'm not going to do anything at 5, but I'm going to wait for possibly the best player in the draft to fall to me. Ha ha! I'm not doing anything at 10 because I'm going to let the best offensive lineman in the draft fall to me. He keeps stepping in shit, but somehow he's selling it to somebody as gold. All right, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I love it. Someone went to me the other day. They said, I really like your show. And I always get worried when someone starts a message with, I really like your show. Because there's always a but.
That's what she said.
And it's always a big but. And he goes, but, see, but I have a hard time seeing how a Knicks show, a Giant show has all this stuff behind it and it isn't Giant related. I don't fucking know. If you really need me to sit here with Giant stuff on so you know it's a Giant channel when you just click the fucking thumbnail, I don't know what to tell you. You should go work for Joe Schoen. I've been a Knicks fan since I read A Sense of Where You Are by Bill Bradley's college career. Oh, that was a good book too. The only 2 games last year The other 2 wins were tank jobs by Dallas and Vegas. You're right. Kayvon will be in Vegas next year. Kayvon will probably be somewhere by the middle of the season. It's a very bad steal job. Joe Burrow's run is very bad to steal Joe Burrow's run. Very bad. 22-51. He did not find Jackson Dart. Deb, thank the Lord. Thank you, Deb. Oh, dear Lord. Thank you, Deb. He wanted Shedeur Sanders. He was going to take Shedeur Sanders at one point at 3. It was Brian Dable. You're right. That one, and I'm not giving Brian Dable credit for shit besides a 7-2 start. But he didn't even want Jackson Dart. Big T says, never have seen someone rewarded for doing such a shit job. Oh, wait, never mind. We have a president who fails forward too. Well, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not going to get into that. Because if that's the case, then you can also say that you also have a president that's been trying to fix the fucking mess from 4 years ago. Let's be honest that, you had a corpse in Biden. You had an auto pen signing executive orders that he didn't even know about, giving pardons you didn't know about. So there's a lot of things you can get into that, but we're not going to get into that. Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him the heat. No, it's not heat. I'm saying give him the heat. Forget about the curve, Ricky. Just give him the heat. Joe Spano, guys, come on. Hiring Joe Schoen is such a non-story. The Giants are on the hands of Harbaugh, period. All the key players and nearly every development report to Harbs. Harbs likes Joe as a subordinate. That's not what I'm hearing, Joe. That's not what I'm hearing, as much as people want to say. I'm the same person that told me the news about Joe Schoen 2 months ago that we initially reported, which I didn't believe the report. I 100% admit it. I didn't believe him. But he kept saying, then we talked about it again, because I even started off the show. This is going to make people mad, but this is not coming from me. And I said, this is going to make people upset, but this is what someone told me. And then they heard it again. I kept thinking, I kept saying, I've said it before. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I should listen to this guy because everything he fucking tells us is always right. He gave me a tidbit of information yesterday. He texted me at like 1:30 in the morning. It's like deep throat. Texted me at 1:30 in the morning. Details and information. I don't know what I can share and what I can't share, but I will, if I'm waiting to hear back from, because he has not texted me back, because he's also a Knicks fan, so he's probably like me, a little drunk and hungover. I'm waiting for him to text me back about something. And once he texts me back, and if he lets me know what I can say and what I can't say, I will give you detailed information of what we're talking about. Joe Schoen put drafting Dart on Dable when the camera then took full credit for it when he was fired. Yeah. Joe Schoen contract extension. I don't know. What's up, Trenton? I love it because I got Eagle fans sending me memes of them dancing. They're like, oh, Joe Schoen extension. WK says, big if. Who are starting wide receivers if Slayton and Neighbors aren't ready for week 1 and 2? Slayton's going to be ready by training camp. He's going to be ready by training camp. I actually have Neighbor news too, but I can't report on something until he tells me what I can say. That's the game we play. He tells me shit. He was the same guy that was texting us during free agency, which was a little weird. And I kept saying, okay, he just texted me, deal's going to go down in 5 minutes. And then 4.5 minutes later, we got Isaiah Likely. He's the same guy that gave me that news. And it was weird because he did it 3 times in a row. And then the other big one that he told us is when Tyler Linderbaum went to the Raiders. Yeah. Release it and bury it under the Knicks. That's so fucking Bush League. You wanted to miss the news cycle because Friday's a bad news cycle day anyways. You wanted to miss the news cycle. So what did you do? You waited until 30, 40 minutes before Knicks tip-off to announce the news. Because you knew if the Knicks blew out the Cavaliers, which we did, it was going to be back page news on all the papers in New York. You knew if the Knicks got smoked, the story would have gotten so fucking buried. If the Giants are willing to pay Harbaugh and the staff, they're willing to eat Joe Schoen's contract next offseason. I hope you're right. Mr. Perry says, yeah, I think Mara hasn't learned their lesson. I still think this is a Mara move. I don't think this is a John Harbaugh move. I should rephrase that. I don't think solely this is a John Harbaugh move. And I'm not gonna stream on Sunday because it's Memorial Day. But I'm gonna wait. And when he gives me the okay of what I can say and what I can't say, I will tell you what happened. This is sort of like the time we told everyone what happened when Wink got fired. Because we actually had someone outside the door in the building. So we will. It's not going to be, it could be Mooney and Austin. I do agree with that. To be clear, says Joe, I don't think Joe Schoen should be here, but if you trust Harbaugh and he likes working with them, don't sweat it. Joe, let me help you out here. It's called content, brother. It's called content. Oh, Malachi Fields too. If the Giants if the Giants laughingstock team, now they are. I wonder if Joe Schoen got a raise or an extra years. How would his agent even negotiate a raise? You know what's funny? I'm still looking at let's see. I'm still looking for Joe Schoen's contract extension. Let's see. Is there any details? I can't find any details anywhere. Oh, you want to know why I can't find any details? Because they released it right before the motherfucking Knicks game. And then can I show it? Wait, I think I could do this. Can I do this? Can I show a screen? Oh, you know what? I want to do this. This is awesome. Because normally when you are an organization and you sign your general manager, because the general manager outside of the head coach is the most important position within your organization. I mean, you have to agree with that because he runs everything. Well, not here. He's technically runs everything. So you would think that there would be this long diatribe of a press release by the Giants in reference to the signing of Joe Schoen. So I went on to the Giant website. Can I do this? How do I do this? I do that. I do this. So I went on the Giant website, and I want to read the press release the Giants have put out with you guys. Image file. There we go. Okay, let's read it. It's long. It's a little arduous, but let's read the Giant press release. Okay? About Joe Schoen being retained as the general manager. Here we go. The New York Giants have agreed to a multi-year extension with general manager Joe Schoen. This is from the Giant website. Now, don't get bored, but I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it again for everybody because it's long and arduous. The New York Giants have agreed to a multi-year extension with general manager Joe Schoen. That's the press release from the New York Football Giants. So they're going to keep Joe and Don. It literally doesn't make any sense because he's the only GM that will take orders from a head coach. I don't agree with that. I don't disagree with that. Look at the past draft of free agency. You guys love the moves, and that's because they were Harb's moves, not Joe Schoen's. Harb's is going to get the players he wants. Joe, I think you're missing the point. If you have a skunk in your house, and we've had skunks under our deck, because we live in the middle of fucking nowhere. And sometimes the coyotes eat the skunks. So that's fine. But when the skunk is under your deck and he dies, or he decides to spray his perfume, he leaves the stench. He leaves the stench on the deck, on the surrounding dirt, in the wood, anything that's above the deck. Joe Schoen is the skunk. Joe Schoen is the stench. And if you sit there and you believe that Joe Schoen has not been a monumental issue and that John Harbaugh was solely responsible for bringing back Joe Schoen, I'm telling you, you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you, and like I said, I'm not going to say yet, and maybe this is why I'm a little bit more upset about things, but I'm just waiting to give the information and everyone can understand. Check all other NFC blogs. Oh, they love the move. Scott says, Schoen is more or less an assistant to Harbaugh. Does Schoen truly have any GM powers left? I want to just say things. I literally want to just fucking say things. I'm sitting here and I just want to say shit. But I can't. Because once again, he's not emailing me back. But everyone knows I always get a lot of text messages. But I love it because just from last night in regards to Joe Schoen, I have another 200. I don't, you can't see it there, but I got another 294 text messages. Big T says, everyone who got signed on Joe Schoen has been fired. His entire coaching staff was terminated, but somehow we gets a contract extension. It's like everything that went wrong was everyone else's fault. This is T-Brad. That's why I love you, brother. You are an extremely astute Giant fan. This is the Giant way going back to Jerry Reese. This was the Giant way leading up to the firing of Andy Robustelli. It's everyone else's fault, but the person that caused the issue. It's everyone else's fault. Except for the person that caused the problems, which kills me, which literally has to fucking kill you. Andy Robustelli was so putrid as a GM between 74 and 78. When they brought George Young in the 79, it was almost like, well, everything that he did wasn't any. First of all, it was, if you know anything about the tenure of the Giants, Ray Walsh was the general manager from 47 to 73. And when the Giants kind of started falling off the bus a little bit and things started going wrong, everything was Ray Walsh's fault. Everything was his fault as the general manager, rightfully so. So he was fired. We're not going to say that he was fired. We're just going to say he was let go. So then they bring in Andy Robustelli because Ray Walsh had been here for almost 26 years, 27 years. So they bring in Andy Robustelli, former player. Everything that Andy Robustelli did was wrong. Every trade that he made, and Andy Robustelli, which I find interesting, in 5 years as a general manager. Now, remember, they were only playing 14 games up to 78, and then they started playing 16. So in 5 seasons, Andy Robustelli was 21 and 51. He was 21 and 51 in 5 seasons. Joe Schoen in 4 seasons is 22, 45, and 1. But then when they got rid of Andy Robustelli and brought in George Young, everything was Andy Robustelli's fault. And it really was. Andy Robustelli made some terrible fucking moves. This is the same thing with Joe Schoen. And I agree with T-Brad. Everything that Joe Schoen did, everything that went on in this organization for 4 years, you are basically telling your entire fan base it was not Joe's fault. Joe didn't give Daniel Jones that extension. Joe didn't let Saquon Barkley walk away. Joe didn't have Dexter Lawrence, who's arguably some Giant fans' favorite defensive player, sit there and have Dexter Lawrence say, I don't even want to talk to that morose motherfucker. No, it wasn't Joe Schoen's fault. Overpaying for players, terrible drafting, terrible free agency, terrible trades. It wasn't Joe Schoen's fault. It was everyone else's fault in the building because everyone else got fired except this smug asshole because he had 1 year left on his contract. And the Giants are tired of paying for people that don't work for the organization anymore and then bringing someone else in. So as a Giant fan, yes, we have still the glee and the excitement of John Harbaugh. But I'm going to tell you something, kiddies. I'm going to give you a little tidbit here about the NFL and how the NFL works. When the season starts and when preseason starts, when training camp starts and Harbaugh is deep into the passions and the throes.
That's what she said.
Of building this team and training this team and getting this team ready for the season and getting this team's reason for each week. Who do you think's running the ship on the day-to-day operations? Who do you think's running the ship? It's not John Harbaugh is not going to have time. He is going to listen to Joe Schoen. He's going to listen to his general manager. That's what he's going to do. He is going to listen. You got to remember that Harbaugh is spoiled. Harbaugh has only had 2 general managers in Baltimore. He's had 2 general managers in Baltimore. His entire tenure there. He has 2 general managers in Baltimore. The entire tenure of technically the Baltimore Ravens, there's only been 2 general managers because this is before they became the Cleveland Browns. He had Ozzie Newsome and Eric DeCosta. Ozzie Newsome's record was 200 and 167. Eric DeCosta's record was 33 and 16. Ozzie Newsome is the gentleman that produced 2 world championships, 11 playoff wins. Even DeCosta has 2 playoff wins under his tenure. So he has had literally 2 general managers in his tenure. And Ozzie Newsome was an extremely hands-on general manager. New season prediction. I still give a 6 to 7 win season prediction. I'm not changing that. Yeah, John Harbaugh, Shane, bromance. These things start fast and end fast. That's the other thing. You're right. Joe Ferry. You're 100%. You are 1,000% correct. How many times have we seen this shit flame out? How many times you've seen the honeymoon? They always say, the honeymoon period. The honeymoon period for John Harbaugh was ending early already for certain Giant fans. But now you're sitting there, and if you're telling people that John Harbaugh had the final say on Joe Schoen coming back, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. And I'm going to give you a beautiful story in a couple days, I hope. But I'm going to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I love it how they added the point, because we're going to play it. They added the point that it's a multi-year extension. Here we go. Here's that Giant Presley release that we've given out before. I'm going to read it for people because I don't like people reading too long because it is such a long press release. The New York Giants have agreed to a multi-year extension with general manager Joe Schoen. You just re-signed your general manager. You would think that would be pretty big news. You release it. You literally release it right before the Knicks game, and you bury it in the papers because you don't want anyone else to fucking deal with it. I'm hearing it's 2 years. I can tell you that. I'm hearing it's 2 years. Harbaugh will be the head coach GM by year 3. I agree. It's like an office space where he gets promoted for doing nothing. It really is. Because one of my favorite lines in Office Space is, what would you say you do here? You literally kept the stench of the organization. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Come on, get the likes up. Come on, get the fucking likes up. Let's go next. I'm so confused today. For the person on X, that's a compass. That's a compass. This is one of my favorite TV shows. I don't watch TV, but I do like Destination Truth. It's not Destination Truth. It's Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. Josh Gates is, I think Josh Gates is funny. If there was someone that's like a TV, and I've met Josh Gates, it's a TV personality that I like, and this is a compass, and then he autographed the compass for me. So that's Josh Gates' autograph. I met him in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, of all fucking places. So that's Josh. That's a Josh Gate compass. It's got to go in my cabinet, but I'm thinking about moving. Joe Schoen, what can you say about him? All the people who work under him love him. All the people who work under him hate him. What does that say? It's a great point. Again, to be clear, I don't like retaining Joe Schoen. I trust John Harbaugh. Hopefully, this can work out like the Broncos were a poor GM just saved by a great head coach. Jared says, I still trust Joe. I still trust Joe. I still trust Harbaugh. I still trust Harbaugh 100%. I trust Harbaugh, but giving a bullshit pass due to his halo is blind as fuck. Tish is with Epstein. Oh no, we have Harbaugh now. He thought it was a problem. He wouldn't be here. Get the fuck out. I agree. I do think it's the first big mistake. It's the first swing and a miss. It really is. And I hope it's not one of those mistakes that comes back to haunt the team. I hope it's one of those mistakes that you literally have guys, you literally have players who said that they hate Joe Schoen. Not specifically, not coming out directly. But you have players that said they didn't like Joe Schoen. They don't like his smugness. They don't like his arrogance. They don't like his attitude. The motherfucker's done nothing. You literally got your lottery ticket with John Harbaugh. And I'm going to tell you the guys this right now. If John Harbaugh did not become the Giants head coach, Joe Schoen would have been fired. If you got Todd Monken, if you got Kevin Stefanski like some people wanted, he would have been gone. Joe Schoen is, like I said, he is the definition of white privilege stepping in dog shit and having it turn out to be gold. They don't miss the kick in Baltimore. We're not talking about John Harbaugh here. We're talking about Kevin Stefanski. The Cardinals don't pull a Cardinals move and take a running back at 3. Reese isn't here. And I'm not even 100% sure if that happens, it shakes up the draft. I don't think Francis is here. Joe Schoen tried to trade for Tremaine Edmonds when everybody knew in the league that he was getting released. And nobody was going to pick him up on waivers. But Joe Schoen wanted to trade for him, but then he gets released. That's not Joe Schoen being an astute general manager. That's the blind squirrel finding the acorn. Nothing has changed in reference to Joe Schoen's drafts. They're still so porous that you have, if you go back to his draft, if you go back to Joe Schoen's drafts, how many people are starters? Remember, Joe Schoen's biggest claim to fame at points in times were re-signing Giants. We're re-signing Dave Gettleman picks. That was his claim to fame, re-signing Saquon Barkley, the one-year deal. The tag, re-signing Daniel Jones, signing Dexter Lawrence, and signing Andrew Thomas, except though he let Xavier McKinney go. Look at guys on this team. All right, 2005. How many guys are starters? Well, right now I could say one for sure, and that's Jackson Dart. We'll say 2 with Abdul Carter. So that's 2. In 2024, you potentially only have one or 2 starters. In 23, you have 1 starter. In 24, you have 1 starter. So, since 2000, 22, you have Joe Schoen has found 5 starters in 4 drafts. They extended the fall guy. They did. Carter should have been the 2nd round pick at the earliest, maybe a 3rd. If Abdul Carter came out as a linebacker, he would have been 3rd, 4th rounder. T-Brad says, what do you bust? You don't get the dip. So are we all drinking today? And so we are. So are we? I can't day drink today. The wife's got to work. The wife's got to work, and they're not letting her off early because she's got Monday off. So she would love to go day drinking, but she's also sick. She got sick. I don't know where she got sick. Joe Schoen is like early career Lane Kiffin. That's actually a great prediction. That's actually a great way to put it, Joe. Zagatag says NBA Finals prediction: Spurs and Knicks. I'm going to say OKC and Knicks. Steven says Joe Schoen's graded a D+ anonymously, by his own players and the league. So that's always the best reason to keep a guy. Joe only got a D+. Let's keep his ass. The Giants just confound you at times with their ineptitude. They really do. They just kind of do. They confound you. You're just like, what the fuck are they thinking? What the fuck are they doing? And then people will try to tell you, well, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be. Don't worry, John Harbaugh's gonna be in charge of everything. I mean, John Harbaugh's gonna be in charge of everything. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I can't keep getting into it, but there is more to this story that is being told. And like when I said 2 months ago that he would get an extension after the draft, that I was told, I didn't believe it. And I've said this a million times before. I said it on Twitter because people were talking about me on Twitter about this. I didn't believe it. But I just said, I'm going to report what I'm hearing or what I heard, what someone told me. I personally did not believe it. So I'm not taking any credit for the story. I'm just taking credit that we said it here 2 months ago. But I didn't believe it. I didn't think there was any way you could do it. The funny thing about when Joe Schoen was questioned about the grade, he went full on Trump and started questioning how it was tabulated. That was Jim Carrey in The Mask. Inflation under Biden was monetary policies and debate stacking since either guy's fault. You're right. I don't disagree, but I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to get into politics. Is your source John Mara? Because this isn't too sly. This shit's too accurate. No, the person that tells me, I'm never going to say who the person is because then they'll stop telling me things. And I love it because I always have to ask before I can say something. Because I know he always has a fear of being found out or being told or being, being the source. So I always ask him because there's certain things he tells me, I guess if I say, people will know who he is. That's all. That's why I always have to ask what I can say and what I cannot say. Actually, it was the Biden American Rescue Act, which actually overstimulated the economy. If we're going to get into economics, it was the Biden Save America Act, which we did not need, which put more into the national debt, which overstimulated the economy because you had more money chasing goods that we did not have because of coming out of COVID, which raised inflation at some points to 9%. And we talk about the inflation rate. There is something called the rate of inflation, which is the rate that inflation is going up each quarter. And some of the rates of inflations were beyond record highs for the Biden administration because you cannot have all this excess money that you're just printing, chasing goods. I'm going to take Adam Schefter's job. Sure, why not? That are chasing goods and services that aren't there, which then you have inflated prices, which then raises what? Inflation. Man, it teamed up with Roseman and Big Dom with Harbaugh. It would really be a dynasty. Tierley says, I don't know what's the worst, being bad for another season or the Giants being really good and Joe Schoen getting all the credit. I think that's worse. Coaches and GM gets fired and hired every offseason. Also, who really the GM is if the head coach makes all the decisions, New York Giants for life. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. I can't. All right. I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything. Zacatech says, we felt like Joe Schoen's assembled a good young talent nucleus, and we look forward to the development, said in a statement. Where's that? Zach, where's that statement? Can you text that? Can you DM me that on Twitter? Can you DM me that statement on X, my brother? I'm going to pull up my X account here. Let's go next. Where I can't, where chat. Okay, chat. Zach, if you could DM me that on X, that'd be awesome. New York Giants 88 says Dable was a better scout than Joe Schoen. Dable's off a coach, but I didn't hate Dable because he gave us Dart Neighbors scat. Imagine having Sanders, Azuda, right in Joshua. New York Giants 88. You're right. This is what people are forgetting. We have this on tape. We have them discussing Joe Schoen taking Shedeur Sanders at 3. We have it on tape that it's based, and you're right. He rolled Harbaugh under the bus. I mean, Harbaugh, not Harbaugh. He rolled Dable under the bus and then decided, I'm going to take fucking credit for Jackson Dart, even though he wasn't even the guy I wanted. Yes, he was ranked the worst one by his peers. Let's see here. Joe says, yeah, true, New York. Dable had a heavy hand in those picks. He did. I dislike Brian Dable as a head coach. I've said it a million times before. I think he basically started showing his wares and showing who he really was after 7-2 when we went 2-5-1. He kind of showed who he really was. Everyone looks good until adversity hits, and it's those that survive the adversity and come out on the other side. That's usually that actually is responsible for coming out on the other side, not Joe Schoen. That's the guy. That's your true personality when you hit adversity. So we know we hit adversity, and the true personality of Joe Schoen is he's a dick. I think it's kind of overblown. Whoops, what happened? Oops. I think it's kind of overblown a little bit in terms of how it works. Harbaugh said to the Athletic, media speaks for what the fuck is wrong with you. Yeah. Listen, there's a reason and a rationale why I'm not overly upset about John Harbaugh right now, with John Harbaugh right now. There's a reason and a rationale before that, and I can't say it yet. I will make you this pledge. I will find out exactly what I can say in reference to this situation, and we'll stream on Monday. Oh, Monday's a day off. Yes, I will stream on Monday because I can't stream on Sunday because Sunday is Memorial Day, and I'm going to do Memorial Day stuff. But I will make you this promise. I will make you this pledge. Not even a promise. I will make you this pledge. I will find out by Monday everything that I can say in these text messages. Not his peers, his own player. Well, no, it was also peers and players. Rooting for the Knicks, I believe the Cavs win game 4. Knicks finish in game 5. I'm thinking we sweep, baby. I'm to the point that James and I say, ride, unicorn, ride. We're going to have the mighty unicorn sweep. We're all going to break down. And we've said it before. If we've said it before. Hold on. Can I get to it? We are going to sweep. We are going to ride unicorn ride. And we're all going to do the cat dance. Hold on. Here we go. We're all going to sit here and do the cat dance. Knicks with the sweep going to OKC. Come on, Cat. We're doing the cat dance. I got to check it. You know what I need to do? I got to go to the Mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. We have to go see what the New York Knicks odds are right now about winning the NBA championship. We've said it before. We'll say it a million times again, especially since it is NBA season. NBA players are the best time to join the action. You'll get $150 in bonus bets if you win on your first $5 bet. I'll say that again here for new customers. Get $150 back in bonus bets if you win on your first $5 bet. Let's go to the NBA. Let's see the Knicks. The Knicks are still plus 390. They're plus 390. Cleveland is plus 4,500, 4,500. Oklahoma City is back down to negative 110. San Antonio Spurs are still a plus 210. I think that's wrong. I think, listen, you gotta like Wemby. You gotta like the team. But there's other portions of that Spurs team I do not like. I think the Knicks should be the one that are plus 200, 210, and I think the Spurs should be plus 390 because the Knicks won 9 games in a row. We're on a playoff motherfucking tear. Now let's also go to the sports book and see if the signing of Joe Schoen has moved Super Bowl odds for the New York Football Giants. Giants yesterday were at plus 7,000 with the signing of Joe Schoen. I go here to the Mighty FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Let's see, they were plus 7,000 yesterday. They're now plus 25,000 after the signing of Joe Schoen. I am, of course, kidding. They actually went up to plus 6,500, which is tied with the Carolina Panthers, which I said the other day. I always thought, because the Giants were at plus 7,000. Steelers went down at plus 7,500. They went down 500 by the signing of Aaron Rodgers. But I always thought the Carolina Panthers and the Giants should have been on the same level in reference to the playoffs. So plus 6,500 for both. I kind of like that. I have no problem with that. I do find it's interesting that that they have fallen a little bit. Have risen a little bit. They're pulling this like the fiery phoenix. I'm trying to see someone he sent me a message. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. I got a message back. All right, I'm going to have a call at 1:00. We are going to have a call at 1:00 and discuss exactly what I can talk about. But again, go to the mightyfanduel.com. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. I am so far behind the chat. Why so much hate for Joe? He lonely lead office assistant. I can't spill the beans. I wish I could. I wish to God I could just read everything that he says. I wish to God I could. I can't. I truly wish I could tell you everything this man has said. Because everything he has told us has happened. Literally everything. There we go. Literally everything he has told. Hit the like button. Literally everything he has told us has happened. Shane is basically a weatherman that's allowed to be wrong consistently and keep his job. That's a good way to put it. Carlos says, Tim, our situation just like things are running in Buffalo with Brandon Beane. I don't think that's a good thing. My complaint is him as a person. He does things predictably like a fan, but not forward thinking like the best GMs. I agree. And I agree with Carlos too. I agree. Blame everyone for the years, get people fired, then fire Banks promotion. You're right. You're right. And Joe Schoen came from under Brandon Beane. You're right. Mr. Perry says, my biggest problem with Joe Schoen is he's terrible at drafting. Well, he's also terrible at signing free agents. He's also terrible at negotiating contracts, which is why you got Dawn. So he's a good figurehead. He looks good in his suit, I guess. Bottom line, you can't get rid of good cornerstone players every offseason and have so much hubris that they can easily be replaced. Still trying to replace Xavier McKinney. And I think it's astounding if you actually look at the Holland contract compared to the McKinney contract, while there is a larger number attached to the McKinney contract, the guaranteed money, I think, is only $7 million more for McKinney, who only became All-Pro 2 years in a row. Just about to say that Harbaugh is used to stability. I think that I'm not going to say anything. Can the Ravens survive without a great head coach? Can Harbaugh survive without a great front office? That's actually going to be a great question. That's a great question. That is an astute question. And this is going to be an interesting season because John Harbaugh has had in his 18-year tenure, has 2 general managers that entire time. And one of them was Ozzie Newsome Jr., who's responsible for the only 2 Raven Super Bowl wins. Atlas Commando, 13 wins in 3 years. We give him an extension. Were we afraid the Jets were going to get jealous and steal him away? Oh, dear Lord, it's Arsenal domination. What's up, brother? The extension is optics. They can dump him. I guarantee it. Arsenal says it's a good day to bury bad news. We'll probably utter the Commons communications departments before releasing the statement. It's just such Bush fucking league, though. It really is. It's just such. It's a Bush. The Knicks used to do this. The Knicks used to do this because before the media. I mean, before like online media. Before that, I mean, before media, you just had radio media, and now you have, you didn't have the newspaper. So what would happen is and I don't know if the New York Post has it. They have the New York Post used to have an early and a late edition. Now the early edition would be out like at 6:30. The late edition would be out in the afternoon. So what the Knicks used to do is they used to wait to the early edition deadlines for the paper passed. And then they would release information to the media about certain moves they'd make. So it would be on the late edition. It wouldn't be on the front page when people were walking down the streets, going to work. It would be as they were leaving. The Knicks were known for that. How do you think Harbaugh felt after hearing the news about? I can't tell you. Good old Giants stability for stability. That's another philosopher. You're right. That's the other thing. I will tell you this, Joe Ferries. I will tell you this. This isn't something that just occurred. This was known for at least 2 weeks. I even said it. You don't bring your general manager to the town hall if you're firing him. This has been known for a couple of weeks now. I love the show, but that makes too much sense. We will succeed in spite of Joe Schoen. He will disappear into the woodwork. I hope to God. So Joe Schoen has more than 9 lives. He's got 1,000 lives. Alice Commander says now all Joe Schoen needs is have more Jackson to scat like he did with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Evan Neal, Deontay Banks approve this extension. Oh my God. I think that's hilarious. You're right. I approve this extension. One of the biggest makes was signing Waller. Well, first of all, we didn't sign Waller. We traded for Waller. We didn't sign Waller. We traded for him. And then I love it because then one of the other biggest mistakes is we traded
King of the almost sack
to Seattle, who is then he has the last 3 years he's played in Seattle has been a better player than Dexter Lawrence the last 3 years, won a Super Bowl. And Joe Schoen was like, well, we told him we weren't going to trade him to Seattle if he didn't want to go. We didn't have enough cap space to sign a quarterback. He was going to Seattle. This is why I hate Joe Schoen, because he fucking lies. He lies like his job depends on it. Ravens 2 running back system won't work without Harbs. Yeah. If Tim's information has Harbaugh not being had about Joe Simpson, then I will have a huge problem with it. No reason Harb's keys to the kingdom and saddle him with the general manager he doesn't want. Telling you this, Joe. Telling you this, guys. Monday, 11 a.m. I am going to give you most of the information, hopefully, that I can in reference to this text messages. Once he tells me exactly what I can say, unless we don't hit 45 likes, and we're only at 35 likes, but unless we don't hit 45 likes, I will sit there and I will tell you everything. There is so much in these text messages. It's literally not even funny. And here's the problem I have with these. Here's the problem that I have with these fucking text messages. Here's the problem I have with it. The last time I didn't think it was true. The last time I thought it was fucking crazy. And I didn't think it was true. And I reported it. I told you guys. I'm not one of these people who are going to tell you, I have all this breaking news, but I can't. We're not going to be like NYGST and say, I have all this breaking news. I just can't tell you what it is. I'll tell you what I get. But for his own protection. This like I said, this is deep throat stuff. This is
deep throat stuff, guys. I'm in the parking lot getting this information, man.
But he hasn't been wrong yet. And I think that's what bugs the shit out of me. That he hasn't been wrong yet. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can read. Yeah, Mike Garafolo and Tom Purcelli. I was on that list too, babies. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything yet because I stick to sports. You're booing me because I was actually honest about what caused hyperinflation. Because there's also stagnant inflation, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. But you can't have excess dollars chasing goods and services that aren't there because of a supply chain issue, because that overheats the economy. Which, once you overheat the economy, causes inflation because you have too many goods and services. It's called Economics 101. You can't have so many dollars chasing services, good services that aren't there. I was feeling pretty good about going into the season. The day after Joe Schoen's ascension, I already have a glooming. It does cast a whoa, man, that's crazy. It does cast a little shadow. I'm still excited about the season. I'm still excited to see what direction this team goes. I still think there's a lot to be excited about still. I don't think your euphoria should be minimized because of this. I do think what the problem is. I do think that it is what it is. I mean, you are never going to. No one's ever going to 100% be happy. No one's ever going to be, you're always going to have the doubters. You're always going to have the haters, no matter what. But I still have faith in Joe Schoen. Not Joe Schoen, Brian. I still have. I can't even say his name anymore. I still have faith in John Harbaugh. I do not have a source in the Giants building, but I have no indication that Harbs is anything but on board with Joe Schoen's continued presence. It's not the case. It is a different story. The Schoen extension sucks, but that had to do. Joe, there are so many things, Joe, I can't even tell you right now. There's so much shit that I can't tell you right now. I still love when we found out about the Wink firing. And I love the Wink firing story because the guy, and this is a different guy told us part of the Wink firing story because the guy was like right outside the door. Like literally right outside the door. And he only told us because he was drunk. But if Big L is around, because Big L was texting me earlier, I did tell the guy at the bar who I was. And that more than likely what he told me I was going to say the next day. Fly on the wall. How much influence does Schoen have in the draft? I'll give you all that information later. I think Schoen has the influence has more influence than people think, but Harbaugh is set against or for something. He gets it. You're right. I will tell you this. You're right. Tim, what's going on the grill for the holiday? I went out and we live in farm country. So we have a pork farm We have a cow farm. We have a chicken farm. We have all these other farms in reference to vegetables and stuff. So the cows just came back from the butcher for this one farm. So they have these wonderful T-bones. I've showed pictures of them. They have these wonderful fucking T-bones. So I'm going to I have a bunch of T-bones. I'm gonna get the big green egg fired up. Or I'm gonna get both. I'm gonna get both of them fired up, and then we're gonna throw the T-bones on. I'm like I said, all this shit is farm fresh. That's the best part. All this shit is like literally, they go to the slaughter, and then they are. Oh, I could do this. I could do this now because I knew how to make this work. Hold on, I can do this now because I'm a professional. Where the fuck did it go? So let's take that out. Let's remove that from the studio. Let's add this. Let's go to image, and let's go to. Do I have to convert it to a PDF? Oh yeah, I have to convert it to a what you call it. I got to convert it to I got to save it as a whatever fuck it's called. But yeah, we have some wonderful T-bones that we're going to bring in, and I also have some filet mignon that we're going to cook up, and then I'm going to go to the one section, and we're going to get we're probably going to get we're going to get a couple New York strips. Image file. See, here we go. Oh, here we go. Like these are small. These are the small T-bones. These are the small ones. But they are yeah, and I got some Delmonicos, and so we're gonna have some of those. But those are our small steaks. And I always love it because people crack up because they're like, and I love it because anyone that's ever been to my house during barbecue season will tell you it is literally an event. And you literally watch people suck the marrow out of the bones. I have a video of James Williams just sitting there with a T-bone, just the bone, and just sucking the marrow out. Everyone does it. I can't give you a crumb because I don't know. I can't. Happy birthday, Joe Ferris. Joe Ferris, it's your birthday? It's my birthday, and I'll rhyme if I want to. Tim, has there ever been a head coach that the GM was that was the GM at the, oh yeah, there's been tons of head coaches that were the GMs at the same time. Yeah, there's been tons of head coaches that way. I didn't know it was your birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday to Joe Ferris. Hopefully you get some IBM stock as a gift. John Harbaugh says if the Knicks win game 3 of the series is over in 4, baby. We got the sweep going on. Thank you, my financial advisor, Mr. Spano. The IBM stock has performed well like Joe Schoen has. I will buy more. I'm telling you, Black Rifle, guys. I'm telling you, Black Rifle coffee stock. I don't want to get into the stocks, but like I said, it was, I laughed when my financial advisor called me and said, you need to buy some Black Rifle stock. I was like, it's like 89 cents. And literally, I think I am, like I said, I kind of think that all the stock that I bought from Black Rifle, that I am now the majority shareholder. And now it's over $1.80. I was like, okay. Slider, what's up, brother? Ugh, I guess John likes working with Joe. Ugh. We got the return of Joe Schoen. You're right. Some people call me a genius, but how can you screw up 5? It's some people say I'm a genius, but how can you screw up 5 and 7? Well, you did a good fucking job, Joe. Are we at our 45 likes? If we don't get 45 likes, I'm not going to report anything on Monday. We're at 36. Nope, no one's getting it. We're at 45. We're not getting any. Yes, actually, we did talk about it earlier in the stream. He tore his hand. He tore his Achilles. Well, he snapped his Achilles. You don't really tear your Achilles. I always hate that. Because the Achilles tendon is basically a rubber band. And it's a repetitive stress injury. It's not a turf injury. It's the fact that if you take a rubber band and go like this for an extended period of time, sooner or later, if you do this consistently for like, also you could just be having a bad Achilles tendon. It snaps. Snap. And then they have to attach it. They have to reattach it. So I always, when they call it a tear, I always think, because I know a guy that's an orthopedic surgeon because he works on my knee all the time. He's like, I don't understand why they always call it a tear. He's like, because it doesn't really tear. I guess it's easier. It's easier to diagnose if you ever just say, just in general, if it's a tear, because it's a snap. Because he's the one that showed me the rubber band analogy. And that's what he told me. It's a repetitive stress injury, has nothing to do with the turf. And one of the other issues is if you've ever noticed that a lot of times when people come back from an ACL injury a couple of years later, if not the next year, they snap their Achilles tendon because of the fact that they are changing to compensate for their injury. A lot of times they change, the way they walk, the way they run, and they try to put less stress on the knee. And what that does, that puts more stress on the Achilles tendons. I hear 2 years. Evan Neal, Praxton with a third team offensive line. They're the freaking whatever the hell it's called. The fuck is it called? The OTAs mean nothing in regards to the depth chart. That's going to get moved around 1,000 times. The depth charts do not mean anything until week 1 of, and that honestly they don't mean anything that anymore. But they used to not mean anything until week 1 of first preseason game. Trading Leo, king of the almost sack, was a low-key devastating. It really was. We traded Leonard Williams because Joe Schoen, the genius, ran out of money. You're right. Big Greg, what's up, brother? I was thinking about you the other day, Big Greg. I got to text you later. Hit the like button or beat it to the like Mike. Yeah, we don't hit 45 likes. I'm not going to tell. I won't stream on Monday, and I won't tell you what's in this text messages. We're only at 39. I won't tell you. No, I'm not giving you a crumb. No crumbs. No crumbs for you. No crumbs for you. You hit 45 likes, I will give everyone crumbs on Monday. I gotta get my hair cut. That's why I gotta wear a hat, because literally my hair is like Harbaugh is a true GM, does not care if Joe Schoen the queen, and the queen has no power. Well, Queen Elizabeth was the queen for forever. Well, Parliament always has power, but I understand the analogy. I could be the Treasury Secretary. Just let me bring my guy from Morgan Stanley. Tim, if your prediction is 6 wins, is that really a good season? 2 more wins than last year. I say 6 to 7 wins. That's my thought process. 6 to 7 wins. And I think the needle is going to move more towards 7, but there is a possibility that if Jackson Dart regresses, if Cam Scatterboot, Malik Neighbors doesn't come back, if Denard Wilson can't fix the secondary, that it could be under 7 wins. There's still a lot of ifs with this Giant team. Joe Schoen gets a fucking extension, upgrade what position? Head of buttering bagels operations. Tim, can you be wrong for once? Listen, I am going to say this again. I am never right in regards to this stuff. I'm just telling you what somebody's telling me. I'm not right. It's just, and we've talked about this for the last 4 years. When this guy said something, and it started when he told us that Matt Rule was not coming to the Giants. He told us that, and we even reported it on the show, that he is not leaving Carolina. And then he told us the Giants would not pass on Andrew Thomas. And then he also told us before it happened, the Giants were going to sign Blake Martinez and James Bradbury. I mean, we have a lineage and a history of this guy telling us shit and it being right. And I think he's probably like 98% correct. He's the one that told us during the free agency, within 5 minutes, the Giants are going to announce a move. And what happened 4.5 minutes later? They signed Isaiah Likely. And then he told us something was going to happen in 10 minutes, and 9 minutes later, something happened for the Giants again. And then he told us there was going to be a move that I was going to hate. And then he said in 15 minutes, and then he said 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes later, Tyler Lindenbaum went to the Raiders. So I'm just saying what he is saying. I'm just giving you the information that he is giving me. I am not the source. I'm not an investigative journalist. I'm just telling you what he is telling me, and he just happens to be scary right. And when this happened, I got so many text messages before the Knicks game. I thought it was Knicks related. I thought someone was out with an injury. And all of them were like, you suck. I didn't say it. I didn't predict it. I'm just telling you what I was told. I'm convinced that the missing information from Tim will bring Joe Schoen's situation into much more clear focus. I have a feeling I won't like it much. I won't be around Monday. We'll listen to the replay. What I can say is this, that a lot of this information will offer clarity into the inner dynamics and the inner workings of the New York Giants front office. That's all I'm going to say. But I don't know how much I can get into. And he trusts me enough, because I've known him for 30 plus years. He trusts me enough that he tells me everything, but he always gives the caveat, but you can't say anything till we talk. And I can tell you what we're going to talk about. Happy birthday to Joe. Black Rifle Coffee now, OBB Coffee. I do think I'm the majority stockholder of Black Rifle Coffee. I do think that. I was looking at the amount they traded. I'm like, I think I might be the majority shareholder. I said, I think I could be. I said, I think I got to go down there and make some executive decisions. People will sit there and tell you, well, it only went from 60 cents to $1.80. Yes, but that's still a $1.20 jump per share, and for the amount of shares, that's. Did Joe Schoen screw up 5 and 7, or was it the lack of development from coaching? No, he screwed up 5 and 7. Hit the like button. If all goes as planned, team coaching, you can't wait and see 9 games. If we did win 9 games, they will win. No, they're not going to win. The East is not going to take 9 games. Is not going to take the East. 9 games will not take the East. I still think 10 to 11 games is going to take the NFC East. Hold on a sec. He's actually watching the stream. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I said I wouldn't say anything. I'm not saying anything yet. He knows I won't say anything. He knows it. Because you tell me something in confidence, I don't sit there and tell you. I don't sit there and tell people. If you tell me something is confidential, I will never sit there and divulge that information. But I can tell you right now, hold on. He did say, let me just text this back. He did say, let me see. Hold on. Okay. Yep. Him and I are going to have a conversation this afternoon when I'm in the car going to get my haircut. So I will give everyone detailed information in reference to what was being said in this. And we will sit there on Monday, and talk about the inner workings of them right now. But don't forget, we also have the inner workings we're going to talk about, because, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. It's going to be the sweep. We're looking at the cat sweep. Unreleased the unicorn. Once the Knicks sweep the Cavaliers, James Williams we're going to make these shirts. And we're going to have them, and we're going to wear them game 1 to the NBA championship. It'll have to be game 3. I don't know. Well, no, it had to be. I don't know. I don't know what the record is for San Antonio. But either way, the first home game of the Knicks, we're going to wear this shirt all in black, and on the back, it's going to say Sixers swept, Cleveland Cavaliers swept, blank, 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 Knicks swept. That's what I'm going to say. Not going to lie, Tim. I thought it was a joke when he texted me, but it's true. No, I would never. I don't joke about that stuff. Emrod says, why is John bringing back Neal and didn't just trade or cut Kayvon Thibodeau? Because Kayvon Thibodeau is still somewhat of an asset. And if we could try to build him up before the trade deadline, you may actually get something from him, because you're not going to re-sign Kayvon Thibodeau. Sider says, let's see if it works out the way it is about this. I see as being 5 and I see as 3 and 4 by the bye. I think we're 3 and 4. Everyone enjoy your holiday weekend. Joe, you enjoy yourself holiday weekend as well. Slider says, not gonna lie, Tim. Tim, did you mute yourself? No, I didn't mute myself. Knicks are gonna disappoint y'all once watch again. No, the Knicks, brother, are gonna take this shit down, man. We're gonna roll through this shit. Stand back, get ready. We're rolling with the Thunder. We're gonna take this shit down. I don't know where we are at the likes, but he wants to call me now. Call me. Where's Chloe? Where's Miss Chloe? Call me now, man. Call me now. Okay. I'm gonna take a call. We're gonna take our call here. We're not at 40. I don't think we're at 45 likes. Call me now, man. Let's see here. We're 1 like away. We are 1 like away from me being able to report this news and information on Monday. I want to give this news and information. I want to give it. I want to give it. And I'm going to put the link in the chat real quick. Never mind, it was me. Just made it. We at 45 now. I said 50. I said 50 likes. 50 likes. I'm going to put the link in the chat for a second because I got like 6 minutes and he wants me to call him. Here. Anyone want to talk about Joe Schoen for a minute? There's the link in the chat. I will get the veteran perspective of everyone else. WK says, if the Knicks and OKC in the finals, how do you see it playing out? It's game 6 or 4. OKC, Knicks in 4. Once we won 9 in a row. Once we sweep the Cavaliers, and I even have, like I said, even on my watch, I changed my mind, WK. Even on my watch, I have the cat. It's my cat watch. Dressed as Batman. I'm at work on a break. When you texted me yesterday, I almost forgot to tell you. I almost walked. I was at work on my break when you texted me yesterday. I almost forgot to tell you. I almost walked into the poll because I was trying to process what you just told me. I'm saying 50 likes next. We're at 46. 3 likes away. Hit 50. I'm going to take this call early, and then I am going to report everything Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go out and tell a friend, get your 50 likes. I'm trying to see if there's any other detailed information about the contract. Let's see here. It's going to be me. What's funny? How does anyone ever watch the WNBA? And I'm not trying to be rude about it, but how do they watch the WNBA? T-Brad, how the fuck do people watch the WNBA?
You watch it with your eyes. You turn it on, and you just watch. I haven't really watched much WNBA. WNBA is right there for me when NBA goes off. Then I can transition into WNBA. To be honest, I don't know how people watch the NBA.
Well, listen, I don't disagree with that.
Terrible.
I don't disagree. I mean, there was a play under the basket, and I can't remember who the Cavalier was. But he literally he picked up his dribble and took 4 steps, and went underneath and did a little scoop. And I slowed it down. I went back and I'm counting. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, okay. I thought that used to be a travel.
Well, now it's called a Euro and a gather. I don't know what these steps are called, but there are too many of them. That much I do know. And I'd like to thank you too, Tim, because the stream got me through the 45-minute Peloton break run.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm good for something.
There we go. We got the Peloton ride out the way. IHateJoeSchoen.com. It's a website. It'll be out soon.
Well, you're a huge Joe Schoen fan.
I can't stand the dude.
I know.
Like you said, you said it. I don't have to repeat it. You said it.
What were your
But I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at ownership. They keep. If someone was to sign me to a contract I didn't deserve, I'd be an idiot to say no. And I can't blame Joe Schoen because the owners, the people that sign the checks, are dumb enough to believe him. It's not his fault.
But from you, when you heard the news yesterday, and of course it broke a half hour before the Knicks tip off. When you heard the news, what was your initial thought and your initial reaction?
Tim told me this, but this is typical Giants shit. You did reveal that a source who will not be named did tell you this beforehand. And so I actually, what you did was you readied me for this. So I'm not as upset because you actually got us mentally ready for it. Because when you're fired, you don't go on a big board meeting. You don't go on a big business trip.
No, they don't tell you. They don't take you to the town hall and go, "Hey, answer some questions from the fans."
So the writing was on the wall. We were just holding out hope that he would get fired. And I wanted a clean slate. I wanted a clean slate for the new Giants.
WK, you must not watch all the time. This is standard. there's nothing. There's nothing.
WK.
There's nothing. This is normal. This is called totally Friday.
Rude. And this is what happens when people don't get all. No, but he's saying I'm smoking weed. When you don't have all the facts, you can't assume. This could be tobacco. This could be anything. But actually, you assume correctly. It is actually marijuana.
I was going to say
you assume very correctly.
He probably. I think maybe he's probably missed a lot of the people on the show because I think at one point we had the Brady bunch of weed on the channel one day.
We go straight from the bike from lunch. We go straight from the bike straight to little haberdashery, and then we're back to business.
Well, I always love it because especially when I was playing ball, I used to drink beer and run on the treadmill. And the people would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "I'm working out." They're like, "Okay." I said, "Because when you're like 4 or 5 beers in, you're on like an hour run on the treadmill, it gets interesting."
Yeah, I don't know how you can do that. I tried to drink and play basketball in my younger, and I'm talking about in my youth where my body still worked.
Oh yeah, this was when I was like,
I had like a 40 ounce, and we go like, yeah, we're gonna go play pickup ball. Man, the first 3 points, ooh, I'm ready to go. And after point 4, I'm like, drinking those 40s probably wasn't a good idea, huh? But then you got some people who can play. They play lights out. Still drinking.
Like I said, we used to drink, especially it was in college. You used to drink Old Milwaukee because it was like $4.99 a case. Not really that cheap, but it was.
And the commercials were fucking awesome.
The commercials were awesome, and like I said, we would go down into the training room, and then we would do our workout like we were supposed to, like good kids. And I would just sit there and run on the treadmill and I drink. People no one ever thought anything of it. I love it though. WK says tobacco doesn't burn like that.
Very wise, WK.
Very wise, very wise.
You've got.
I like sliders. Good eyes, man. Good eyes. I thought it was funny though because James and I, when we went to the town hall, he brought me a big bag of gummies, like all different gummies. And I told him, I said, and I have like 2.5 hour ride, to get from New York back home. So I'm sitting there with this big bag of gummies, and I'm sitting there trying not to, I had I was hungry, but I was like, I'm trying not to eat any of these before I get home. So but I told James I wanted to play a new game called Eat a Gummy when I was 15 minutes from the house and see if I could make it. I didn't do it, but I thought about it. That would be wrong. That would be wrong, children.
Let me do a public service announcement for anyone thinking about enjoying cannabis for the first time. Edibles, you may not smoke, and edibles might be a thing because you don't want to smoke, you don't want to deal with your lungs. Please go slow on the edibles. It hits your stream differently. Right. When you're smoking, you can elevate and feel every level as you go up. When you eat it and you consume it, you may have forgotten you've had that piece of candy or whatever. And it's like all of a sudden you're there. You don't get the journey to go up. You're all of a sudden on the 15th floor. You're just there.
Yeah.
Like,
That
wow.
is that. And that's why
And
I
it
was
gets scary for
joking.
your first time.
That's why I was joking when I said it's the game of, take it now and see if you can make it home in time. Because to T-Brad's point, you're all of a sudden you're just sitting there. And then the biggest mistake I know with people with the edibles is you sitting there and you think, okay, well, nothing happened, so I'll take another.
Don't. No.
And that's what I tell people. I say, don't. I said, just wait. They're like,
Just
well,
give it time.
For my weight, I need to take another one. I'm like, no.
No, you don't.
No, you don't, because you are going to be
And your
sitting
weight
there.
has nothing to do with it. It's not alcohol. Your weight has nothing to do with it.
Had this
But I
literally had
can't
this
tell you, Stu, I did the
conversation
same
2 days
thing.
ago with somebody. They're like, well, I'm a big guy. I need to take a couple of these. I'm like, no, just take. And he smokes, but he never took the edible. And I was like, just take one.
And
I
it'll
said,
trip you out.
I was like, don't drink, don't do anything else yet. Just take one and give it some time. And then I was like 20 minutes later, I forgot what we were watching. He was like, I can't watch this anymore, man. He goes, I don't know why, but it's fucking freaking me out, man.
Yeah, because you don't realize, wait a second, I'm high as hell. What happened?
Yeah,
Hey, you forgot about a half an hour ago you took a piece of candy? My first experience was exactly like that. I got some gummies, and it says, take 2 gummies or 1.5 gummies. That was the recommended dosage. So I take 1, I take a half. Person who gave it to me said, wait about a half an hour, and it'll kick in then. That's bullcrap. And I was a lot bigger guy. I was probably like 270 at the time. So I'm like, I'm a big guy. I probably need a little more. Because about the 25-minute mark, I didn't feel anything. He said, wait a half an hour. It's 25 minutes. This thing ain't going to work. Man, give me an extra gummy. This is crap. 5 minutes later, the high arrived. Didn't announce itself. It was just there.
It's there.
When I tell you, I was lit all night, all the way up to the early morning. Now, it was a great high. It's a great experience. But for you never to experience going from 0 to, high, it's a trip. And even an experienced smoker will trip out on edibles the first time. You have smokers who say, no, I don't do edibles. Can't do them.
Yeah.
Because you can't control it.
Well, to your point, yeah. So when you're inhaling, everything's a visceral experience. It's there. It's right. It's happening right at the moment. But when you take I don't like to smoke anymore, so that's why I can't. So, but the gummies, I remember the first time. I told people, I was like, I'm gonna take another one, and he was like, nope, just don't do it. Don't do it. Thank God I didn't.
Relax. Give it time. The high will arrive. It won't knock on the door. It'll just be in the house.
Well, the problem is you're waiting.
Arrive.
But the problem is you're waiting. You're waiting for it to arrive. That's the issue. You're sitting there and you're thinking it's like if you're actually inhaling, and you're like, okay, well, it's where's it at?
Right.
And that's why I think a lot of people also make the mistake. They're like, well, I'm gonna have a couple beers when I'm waiting. I'm gonna have a couple drinks when I'm waiting. It's like, no, because you can monitor when you're smoking and you're drinking, you can monitor it at the same time, because it's both, you're both ingesting, not simultaneously, but you're both ingesting in a period of time that you can monitor what your situation is. You can't monitor having 4 beers and having a gummy kick in 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Because now you're like, because then you don't know what to attribute the feeling to.
Yes.
If you've been drinking and you don't know what you really want to experience, like an edible by itself.
Yes.
Really, until you find where you want to be, if you want to experience an edible by itself, and I would always say, start off with 5 milligrams. And now, even today, they have some of these newer ones. They let you know, like, it's fast acting. It's not going to take a half an hour. It's only going to take 10 minutes. So it gives you like kind of a timer of when it's going to kick in. But whatever that dosage is, start off with the lowest dosage, because you don't know where you want to be. And I think the high lasts longer. So then, like, because my strategy used to be, I'm going to take my gut, because I'm about a 20 milligram person, 20 to 25 milligram person. If I get that, wait the half an hour, have a nice mellow experience, it's a good ride. And then if I'm armed, coming down a little bit, just come take a couple puffs, get myself back up to standard, Much easier.
Okay, well, this is Gummy Hour with Tim and T. Brad. Make sure you like and subscribe and ring that bell. Well, if you had a gummy, you may not know you like to subscribe or ring that bell already. We got to get back to Joe Schoen. I got to jump on a call, T. Brad. I want to have you jump on because I hadn't seen you in a while.
Good seeing you, brother. We're gonna make some day drinking happen pretty soon. We're gonna have to make that happen.
Well, the wife has got a bunch of time off coming up in the next couple months, so she's got like 39 vacation days she's got to use. So we're definitely gonna have some availability, especially now that it's the summer as well.
Yeah, June's gonna be rough for me because I'm gonna be all over for work, but we'll make it happen.
We'll figure it out, my brother. We'll figure it out. All right, T, I'm gonna drop you off here, so I'm gonna say good night. Good night. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Do you have a gummy? Good night.
Not yet. check with me about 35 minutes. No, I can't. I gotta get my haircut. All right, that's the venerable T. Brad. I'm glad T. Brad can jump on for a minute. All right, we only hit 49 likes. I'm fine. I don't care. I want to thank everyone for tuning in as we did. It was a fun show as always. We're gonna, like I said, we have our 50 likes, so I'm gonna do the report. I do have to jump on this phone because he actually called me when we were on the show. Appreciate everyone for coming in. This is Tim, this is New York Giants right now, brought to you by the Mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, the #1 sports book in America. Well, everyone have yourself a good and safe Memorial Day weekend.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.